Welcome to Winterfest.
Winterfest.
Woo.
Hi, welcome back. Today's the 5th day of Winterfest. Have you enjoyed it so far? Have you chosen your quilt yet? Well, there's plenty more to choose from. Today we're going to be viewing 2 quilts and speaking with 2 quilters, Jackie D'Annunzio and her quilt Flower Power, and Debbie Olson and her quilt titled Bowl Me Over. Enjoy the show. Let's start our conversation with another wonderful Cama Beach quilter, Jackie D'Annunzio. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. And you?
I'm good. It's a sunny day. It's gorgeous today.
So tell me, how did you find your quilt life?
My quilt life really started growing up. I learned how to sew in 4-H in northern Michigan. And then when I was 20 years old, one of my cousins was having a baby. And I don't know why, but I decided I was going to make a baby quilt. And it was gingham, all different colors of gingham, and an eyelet border. And I mean, I don't know why I got that idea, but really my quilting has all been self-taught. You know, I've gone to a few classes now and then, but mostly it's learning by doing, experimenting. And I think the hardest part for me is the color design. You know, I'm very linear. So the technical parts aren't the obstacle, but it's that colorful design and creativity.
How did you find the Cama Beach quilters?
Well, I've always known about Cama Beach quilters since I moved up to Camano Island in 2005. And I've gone to the quilt festivals in the summer and enjoyed those. But it was when I retired in 2014 after that, and we moved to our home permanently on Camano Island, that I decided, you know, I kind of wanted to be involved and meet some new people. And I met up with Pam at the Quilt Festival a couple of years ago, and we were talking and talked about the Quilt Festival and the group, and invited me to come to a meeting, and I did. So I've been coming to meetings for a couple of years, and you know, the quilt you're looking at today, the Flower Power one, was my first one, and it's a small one. It was meant to be one of the cabin quilts.
Well, let's bring that quilt up.
So, and it was very simple and something that would be durable and usable and appealing maybe to campers in the cabins.
How did you design this?
Well, I didn't design it at all. I'm a big fan of Cave Fassett, and I have a lot of his books, which are inspiring. I never make the quilts as bright and beautiful as his, but I had a book about quilts, and I found this one called the Wagga Wagga, and it's like, oh, I could do that, you know. Every other rectangle in the quilt is, you know, the black background with the wildflowers on it. And then there were a lot of companion pieces. So I just recreated Cave Fassett's quilt using this 60s kind of wildflower print. And of course, his also displayed, had buttons in the center, and I love that. But I left the buttons off because it really wouldn't be practical for use in a cabin and for washing and just durability. So that was my inspiration. And Pam found a collection of fabrics which sparked the idea. So, you know, just from the stash of the Cama Beach Quilters group.
Awesome. Were you aware that most of the quilts in Cave's books are quilted by a local woman, Judy Irish?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So Cave designs the quilts and the fabrics, and then he sends his designs over to a woman in Pennsylvania named Liza Lucy. And she actually is the person that sews the tops together And then she sends them to Judy Irish. She lives in Arlington, and she
Oh my
quilts
gosh,
them.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's fantastic.
Great collaboration there. So if you look in the books, you'll see in the back credits, you'll usually see Judy's name there.
I enjoy the text as much as the pictures. And they are really simple quilts to do, usually. The designs aren't so elaborate that they're daunting, but they're very impressive looking. And I love the bright colors and the wild patterns in his fabric lines. So that was my first attempt for the Cama Beach cabins. I've spent a lot of time working on the Cama Beach bags and quilting the squares, the cabin squares, to make the centerpiece for the bags. So I had several ready for this year's festival.
Yeah.
But they'll be relevant at another time. I have to say, I really enjoy working on smaller projects more than big quilts. In my whole quilting career, I haven't made a lot of big quilts. I've made tons of baby quilts and placemats and runners and bags and mini quilts. So, everything I do is on my own sewing machine.
Nice. Do you have a sample of the bags there?
I do. There's one.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
And I quilted the bags, so they're fully lined and they have nice pockets inside.
Beautiful.
And,
beautiful.
Yeah, and each one is different. I think this was a cabin square that one of our other members made, and I incorporated in my bag. And then this one is kind of different.
Very pretty.
And then I have another one in progress, but then the festival sale was canceled. So I went back to making Christmas presents.
'Tis the season. Usually the bags are available at the Cama Center at Cama Beach State Park. So if anybody wants to purchase a bag, they just need to contact the park.
I actually started with the bags, the group was making book bags for the library. And so I made a ton of those. And then I've kind of expanded them. I made a couple last year for family Christmas gifts. And then this year I'm doing something with the cabin squares. So
do you have a favorite quilt shop that you like to visit?
Well, one of my favorites is up in Mount Vernon, and it's Calico Creations. And I like that because they had a lot of cave facet fabrics. There was a huge collection, like right inside the door. The local store in Stanwood that I really enjoy is Cotton Pickens. And they have great series of fabrics, and they carry a lot of French fabrics, which I've done several French quilts using their fabrics. And
so you're pretty new to the group.
I am new. It's a really nice group of people. They're very friendly and very creative and productive. Pam is a great leader for the group because she's just boundless energy and creativity. She's organizing everything and producing more quilts than anybody. She's just on fire.
I agree.
And a good inspiration.
All right. Well, I think that's great. I thank you very much for your time. And I look forward to being able to get back to the group so we can visit more. And thank you for all your hard work, and welcome to the group.
Well, so rewarding. And thank you.
Quilt number 533, Flower Power by Jackie Giannancio. Thank you, Debbie Olson, for visiting with me today. So my first question for you is, when and how did you find your quilt life?
Well, my previous mother-in-law, my first husband's mother, she was a quilter and she did applique quilts. And I thought, oh, I want to start making quilts. So I think I made baby quilts for my daughter because I had her when I was 20 and I made her some baby quilts. So then I can show you my first quilt I made. It's kind of tattered and torn.
Did you quilt it yourself?
Yes, and I started out with the centers, and then I go to figure out how much for the next logs. It's a log cabin, so then I go down to Sprouse in town years ago. Then I bought enough fabric for the next row, and then I go get some more. But it's, my first quilt I did. I like bright, and I remember this one fabric here. I made my mother a dress out of that.
Beautiful in the quilt. How did you find the Cama Beach Quilters?
Well, when I was a member of CIQ for years, and then Cama started, and so I went out to Cama for a few years, and that was before they had the lodge. And in 2002, my youngest daughter died in an accident, so I kind of just quit doing everything for a while. And then we moved out here around 2017, 18. We bought this place on Camino, and then I started going to Cama again. I love Cama. I love the quilters.
They're the cream of the crop for sure. Let's look at your quilt.
I really like this Bowl Me Over. I think I had a book. I think it was called Spectacular Quilts or something. And I just love the different kind of lattice look, but kind of wonky lattice.
Yeah, this totally looks like a really difficult quilt to make. How did you construct this one?
There's two major blocks. One went over and one went under. When you look at it, it looks like that, but it's one block. It's supposed to be primary colors, so little variations on that. So,
beautiful.
Yeah, I really like that one.
The lattice work makes it look very striking. Makes it look like it's a super difficult quilt to make. It's beautiful.
It was rather difficult. Yeah, I used to make really easy quilts, but then I want kind of a challenge. So I started making more difficult ones. So
Nice.
I haven't been doing a lot of quilting lately. So yeah, I've been making hats and scarves, and I donated a bunch to the Christmas house and then some to the Ladies Aid, and I was sewing masks. I made like 1,300 masks.
1,300 masks?
I turned them into Days for Girls, and they distribute them, a lot of them, to all over, but Burlington for the farm workers and the food bank.
That's super important. Thank you, Debbie Olson, for visiting with me today. Quilt number 520, Bowl Me Over by Debbie Olson. Thanks for watching our conversations with the amazing quilters. You might be wondering about this quilt behind me. Well, it's not for sale. It actually belongs to Cama Beach State Park. They have designated this quilt as one of their seasonal quilts that will be hanging in the lodge. This quilt was made by one of the Cama Beach quilters, Diane Dalton. She's been with the group for quite a few years, if not from the start. And another little known secret, she has summited Mount Rainier. Impressive, Diane. And thanks for sharing your beautiful quilt with us. We'll see you tomorrow for day 6 of Winterfest. Thanks again. Bye-bye.